Each weekend, thousands of people come to downtown Hartford to eat, dance, hit a show, or attend a cultural event. And by and large, downtown is very, very safe. But last weekend, 6 people were shot in 2 incidents at Papa's Pizza, at Union Station, and at the Mansion nightclub, which has a long history of trouble under a variety of names. HPD acted swiftly, arresting a suspect, and took action against the club, but some say it was not enough. Now, the biggest property owner in downtown Hartford, who has invested millions, wants Mansion shut down, saying, quote, "The continued operation of the nightclub Mansion at 191 and Uccello Street puts at risk the safety of its citizenry and billions of dollars of public and private investment that have gone towards the revitalization of Hartford. Such a dangerous establishment should not be permitted to operate anywhere in the city. It must be closed immediately and not allowed to reopen. Nothing less is acceptable." That's from Lawrence Gottesdiener. He is the president of Northland Investment Corporation, which is, of course, as I mentioned, the largest private property owner in downtown Hartford. Their landmark buildings, City Place, tallest building in Hartford, in the state, as a matter of fact, in Hartford 21. With us today is Jim Lewis. He is the president of Business for Downtown Hartford and the president of Harvey and Lewis Opticians. Marilyn Rossetti, who is the executive director of Hartford Areas Rally Together. Folks, thank you so much for being with us today. First of all, I want to ask Jim first, when you first heard about what happened, what did you think?
Well, I opened the paper on Sunday morning, and I just kind of shook my head and said, you know, here we go again. It's been probably a couple of years since we've had an incident, and again, it turns out it's the same places. Both of those establishments have had problems before, and they're an embarrassment for downtown.
Marilyn, some big things happened last weekend. There was a big gay pride festival, a race. There were all sorts of events downtown that brought thousands of people, and you didn't hear much about it because, as Jim mentioned, those shootings knocked it right out of the headlines. What was your reaction when you heard about what happened?
You know, similar to Jim's, but also at the same time, I go back to we really, and I said this to Jim earlier, we really need to address the issue of the guns. You know, this happens in our city. It's a great city. Like you said, there were so many things going on. There are always so many things going on, but time and time again, we read about shootings, and no one talks about the availability of the guns.
Mansion, for those of you, you know, maybe in the 30s and 40s might remember it as the Russian Lady years ago. And then it was Club Velvet, shut down by Mayor Peters. And then Chief State's Attorney John Bailey for, I believe, drug use, and it was a rave club at the time. Then it became Blue, and they had some incidents there, some violent incidents, and now it's the same owners, but they have changed the name, right, to Mansion. Were you surprised by this call by Northland to shut it down, Jim?
No, I'm not. You know, they have a big investment. They have a large residential establishment, Hartford 21, right at the front door of Mansion, or vice versa. And you know, they have to protect their investment. I understand that. I am concerned that they chose, Northland and AEG chose to have a hip-hop event at the Civic Center, and I think that's counterintuitive to the best interests of Northland, and I question that.
And you think they probably will not do that again?
I think that may be where things started, yes.
In the case of full disclosure, I should mention that I'm also a member of Business for Downtown Hartford. Jim, you had a meeting this week.
Yes.
What were some of the things said by other merchants and other members?
Yeah, I called Paul Hammock from the Deputy Chief of Police for Hartford, and I had him come in just to explain the events of the day, what the strategy was going into the night, because there was a lot, as you said, there was a lot going on, and a lot of people attended. Northland was there, the owners of the Mansion were there, probably about a dozen other property owners and business owners, and universally everybody said that the Hartford police were on top of this, and they did everything that they could. You know, to me it was really a story of 2 bars, because you had after the hip-hop event in the Civic Center, which granted was very well managed, there were no incidents there. You know, 99% of the 8,000 people there were there, had a great time, and went home. There were after-hour parties at 2 different bars. At one of them, The bar owner hired off-duty police officers of his own volition. He had a very a controlled environment. There were 700 people at that establishment, and everything went fine. The mansion was another story. They hired the same DJ that caused the problems that was there the last time there were problems at that establishment. They did not hire police officers, and they had problems.
Marilyn, what are folks in the city saying to you about what kind of changes they want to see made downtown?
Well, you know, again, I don't know if I would blame it on hip-hop, and that might be our, you know, varying opinion, but I would blame it on, as Jim said, the responsibility of an owner who has responsibility, as we say in the neighborhoods, and you know, we're a community organizing organization. If someone isn't doing what they're supposed to do, whether you're a resident or a business owner, then you know what? Someone should say you should be shut down, and you should be shut down.
How influential is Northland? I mean, can they get it shut down? Will it shut down, you think?
I think pressure will be brought to bear. One of the things we established as an organization 5 years ago was Section 1729, which allows the chief of police to require an entertainment business to hire up to 4 police officers, off-duty police officers, at their own expense on any given night. And that is invoked again. It's the 3rd time, to my knowledge, that it has been invoked with a mansion. And to my knowledge, that's the only establishment downtown that has ever been used.
And some merchants have told me that, you know, their customers don't want to come there because of mansion. They're right around the block. And, you know, what can be done to protect their interests?
And I think it goes to, we really have to hold people accountable. And it's about a bad business owner. It's about what we find acceptable in the city. There are things that happen in Hartford that aren't accepted in other cities, and we should not accept that. And Business for Downtown and all the neighborhoods should band together. This would be a perfect opportunity to start a momentum to say it's not just about North Hartford, South Hartford, for downtown, but what's acceptable in our city. And these are the things that are not.
Let's talk about the government's reaction. A lot of people told me, and you know, myself, I was a little stunned. We did not hear or see Mayor Perez at all on these stories. He did not stand in front of that nightclub and say, here's what we're going to do. He didn't hold a news conference to talk about it. His press person was not in front of the cameras at all. And as I brought up earlier, Mayor Peters, John Bailey stood in front of these troublesome places and they got him shut down. Was this a disappointment to business owners that the mayor wasn't more vocal? Only appearance he made in front of a camera this week was when he went to court for himself.
You know, I can't speak for the mayor or the mayor's office. You know, I know that the business community is going to take steps to make sure that our vision for downtown remains intact, because there's too much money involved. There's too many people that really want to see downtown succeed. People love downtown. People love Hartford very deeply.
Marilyn, were you disappointed that the mayor wasn't more vocal this week?
I'm disappointed that we should have a more rallying, unified cry. And if that means our mayor not being there and neighborhood groups not being with Business for Downtown, then there could be somewhat of a disappointment.
Sort of a Giuliani take no prisoners type of approach, type of thing?
Well, I don't want to laugh. But yeah, we need to have a unified voice. We need to band together. We have a perfect opportunity now. We're all saying the same thing. We've been saying in the neighborhoods, you know, there's been businesses downtown, there are people living there now. This is our opportunity.
Hold those thoughts. We'll be right back with more with Marilyn and Jim in just a moment.